Tonight on Tranquil Radio, Filter is banned in El Paso, and Johnny Rotten versus Marky Ramone. Who do you have? All this and more coming up on Tranquil Radio.
People will bow to it.
Sup, everybody? This is Tranquil Radio. I'm your host, Sean Ryan. With me, always the world-famous
Coley Colgate.
That's right, bitch.
That's right, motherfucker. Hey, yeah, how you living?
Tonight, we got some wild punk rock fucking news for you, so let's just get into it. Filter!
You said punk rock and then said filter.
I think this is actually a real punk rock, like, kind of fucking action.
All right, it's a
that
punk
happened.
story, sure.
Filter recently played at Speaking Rock Casino in El Paso, Texas.
Yeehaw!
Just this Thursday, they were banned.
The band was banned.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I'm saying Pam with an
There's
M.
a D on the end.
Before the show had actually happened, Filter was doing their sound check, as bands do. Richard was taking video of it and going, quote, "This is sound check. We're playing El Paso. Get here later and it will be packed. A lot of Trump bashing. Does anyone know Beto? Bring Beto." And during their sound check, they do play a lot of their video. There's a giant screen behind them.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of video going around, like various bullshit that you see on videos and everything. But there are like upside down American flags and politically charged kind of things, which is weird because Filter is not exactly a political band.
I mean, they've never been before.
Did an album during the Bush era where it was just kind of more of a tribute to the troops, but like really hating on the government and all this kind of shit and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was a shitty album. You don't even need to, I don't even know what it's called. I don't own it.
They were
It's not
channeling
even one
their
good song.
Their inner Three Doors Down. Troop rock was all the rage in that era. And so, like, before the show, the venue, like, caught wind of, you know, the video that he posted on Instagram. Basically, they came in and they shut the show down. They went into the green room. Managers passed out. They wake him up, tell him, "Hey, you guys got to get the fuck out." So there's a huge blow up backstage, whatever. The show does not happen. The band leaves, and they take to Facebook, and they write, "The band was told the venue didn't like the post, and that they were getting threatening phone calls and bomb threats from Texans who didn't like it either." So the tour manager was in the green room, and
He gets to wake up from like a pre-show nap to like 30 fucking dudes.
fucking yellow shirted
Big-
security guards, yeah,
Big monster Texans.
and you know, the GM's there shouting, cussing at him, all kinds of crazy shit going down, telling him that, you know, the band is not welcome at that venue. And he says the First Amendment
Quote,
does not exist in this casino.
Get the fuck out.
What else can you do but leave at that point?
Oh, no, they have no other option. But
That's it.
the
You're told to leave.
Management for this company, they go, quote, "The flag should never have been displayed with union down, except as a signal of dire distress in instances of extreme danger to life or property."
So Patrick says, this is a dire emergency. This country is totally fucked up. This is my artistic expression. And if they're going to tell me that I'm un-American for saying that about the president, I'd ask them if they have been to Iraq or Afghanistan. And, you know, he's been there. He's been there. And he said, you know, I love and respect the job that the troops are doing over there, fighting to, you know, ensure our rights so that we can say shit like this. And so he goes, as a matter of fact, he was asked recently, you know, what Filter stands for. And he said, this is it. Freedom of expression. This is what we stand for as a band.
And Speaking Rock Casinos, you know, I'm just going to paraphrase it. They just said, you know what? We don't tolerate
None of that tomfoolery around here.
We don't take kindly to folks that don't take kindly around here.
around in this venue right here.
That's right.
Right here.
Right here.
You hear me, brother?
Now, I have to assume, because it's called Standing Rock.
Speaking Rock.
Sorry. It's got to be an Indian casino. I'm sorry, a Native American casino. So,
Jeez.
I don't...
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa, too soon.
So then, this is the funniest part to me of this whole story. Filter's the headliner. They're kicked out because of this post that he makes, this un-American opinion that they think he has. In their press release or their post about the events, the casino says, on a positive note, Fall to Rise will still be on at 7 p.m., which is the opener. It's like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Nobody was coming there to see them. I just think that's funny. Like, still come spend your casino money.
I know this is not a political show whatsoever. I really don't want to talk about politics or get into any kind of thing like that. But I feel that, like, Jimothy, you and I, we're all three, like, pretty middle of the road. We may lean in a certain direction, but we're not either or. In fact, no matter who's on what side of it, I would like to antagonize them.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm usually the same way. So.
Yes, you have the First Amendment right to say what you want, but it is also the First Amendment right of that venue to go, I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
You have the First Amendment right as an American, but in my venue, which I own on my property, you don't get to say that kind of stuff.
They took our rights.
And they took their
I think that, it's good to have your opinion, but, there are certain things you don't do in certain places. Disrespecting the flag in Texas is probably one of those things you shouldn't be doing.
That kind of tomfoolery may be permitted in New York City.
Yeah, you Yankee.
But none of that shit down here.
Hell no, brother. You want a kiss?
You're not my cousin.
I am your brother.
That's more Alabama. On a lighter note, who cares?
Exactly.
Filter got some publicity out of this.
Yeah, we're talking about them.
Yeah.
They made it to our show.
And you know what? That venue got some publicity out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's going to be good for both teams. And
You know who the real winner is here, though?
The fans.
No. Opener Fall to Rise, who did go on at 7 and crushed.
And just a kind of quick and final story, we have Johnny Rotten versus Marky Ramone. Recently, boy, just like Mortal Kombat. But anyways, Iggy Pop is producing a small docuseries for the channel Epix. It's called Punk. It's going to be out very soon. There's promotions for it, and there was a panel that included people like Henry Rollins and Duff McKagan, who I know he's in Guns N' Roses, but he was part of the Seattle punk scene for many, many years, and in over 100 punk bands before Guns N' Roses, including a band called The Farts. And then there was, of course, Johnny Rotten and Marky Ramone. Marky Ramone being one of the last surviving members, if not the last surviving member of the Ramones. Do not quote me. I do not claim to know everything about the Ramones. I'm sorry. I know many of them had passed. So things got a little bit heated between Johnny and Marky, but these two almost came to blows, and it was really funny just watching these old men going at it with each other. Basically,
they really were.
You never know which. Are you going to get John Lydon, or are you going to get Johnny Rotten?
Do I buy Country Life butter because it's British?
It depends on the interview. And we'll actually get to an actually sweet story about Johnny Rotten right after this segment. These two, it was just basically Johnny was scoffing at Marky's remarks about being in a true punk band and, being in the glory days of the Ramones. Johnny was like, you weren't even in the fucking original lineup, you tool.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A phony lives here. A big fat phony!
And then he gets up and walks the walk.
Back, and Johnny Rotten's just dancing and just being his asshole self.
He's talking about how he was punk and he was doing the punk shit, and he's, you guys were just about drugs, man. All you did was drugs. Drugs.
Marky was just going like, oh, you guys were just a complete bullshit act that was made up, and you stole your whole fucking identity from Richard Hell, all you punks, blah, blah, blah. And here we have some of the video for it right now.
For the Ramones, you'd be doing fish and chips somewhere.
Listen, I love the Ramones.
Yeah, you love the Ramones.
But I love
status
quo more.
Well, good for you. I believe you.
I have a question.
I believe you.
That we could change our lives by music, meaning what we said, attack the political systems. This daft.
How come you, wait.
Is it the drugs?
Hey, you talk the talk, but you didn't do the walk.
All right.
Just like the MC5.
Hello! Johnny Rotten never did the walk.
He just talked. He didn't do the walk. He wasn't out on the street protesting like the MC5.
Look at you.
That's
You look
it,
like
right?
heavy metal.
Whatever the okay? Sit the down.
This agenda is that he's propagating, and he's not even an original Ramone, but he's propagating this idea.
But I did the Blank Generation album with Richard Hell, and you took his image, and all you guys took Richard Hell's image. That's all you did.
Yeah, and you're still covering your fucking ears.
That's all you fucking did was take Richard Hell's image. They did the Blank Generation album, and that's all you did.
All right.
That's all you did. And Sid Vicious was the star. That's right. He was the star of the band.
He was the star
best.
For arsehole
He was
fake
great.
idiots like
He
you.
was great.
Enjoy your
He
drugs.
kicked ass.
Fucking have a happy
He
life.
kicked ass.
And then Johnny turned his sights onto Henry Rollins. After that had been diffused, I think someone actually
came in and kind of pulled
behind Johnny. It was just like, all right. Henry Rollins and Johnny Rotten, they kind of get into it just a little bit, and Johnny, he kind of, I'm paraphrasing, I'm not quoting, to Henry Rollins, you know, you said some really stupid shit, but some of the most brilliant things ever. And then he kind of like, he has the microphone with Henry Rollins, and it's this, they're just holding on like that. They're both holding on to the microphone, and Henry's just like, you know what? You said Black Flag was a bunch of rich suburban kids, and I wanted to tear your fucking ears off. And they're wrestling for the mic, and then finally Henry just like, yeah, like I am a lot stronger than you, because Henry is a beast.
He works out.
Yeah.
I caught him in the gym once.
Here's a clip from that.
Fella next to you, can you tell him?
Henry's here.
Henry! Hello, Henry. Right? We ain't ever met before. No, sir. No, we ain't we? Right? You've said silly things, but excellently good things too.
Yes, and you call Black Flag a bunch of suburban rich kids, and we want to tear your ears off.
Yes, I did, but I didn't like the fucking music. It was boring and unoriginal.
Oh, you know what? The funniest thing about this was just poor Duff McKagan. Like you can see in this video right here,
It's just so like
Henry Rollins' monster arm going over, and John Lydon, Johnny Rotten, and Duff is just like,
I don't like
Mom, Dad, stop!
You're ruining Christmas. Are you going to get a divorce?
I got you a pack of cigarettes, so smoke up, Johnny. But, you know, that is Johnny Rotten, and that's just what's going to happen. But for those of you that think that Johnny Rotten is just constantly a butthole, he's not. Sometimes he can actually be very nice and very sweet. Outside of the panel for this punk docuseries, TMZ caught up with him, and they had asked him about Keith Flint. Johnny, he was just actually very nice and very sweet about it, and he said that Keith was a very good friend of his. I just recently did a tribute and a story about Keith Flint that you can, if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch that right here. Johnny had gone on to just say, like, people don't need to die. If you need help, come to me. I'm Johnny. Come to me. This is a very lonely business. Before we butcher it or anything, you can just watch this right now.
Yeah, just feel it for a second. It's really sweet.
You think he was one of the last great punk rockers?
My heart is broken for him. He was a good friend of mine. And don't get it wrong. But nobody loved him, and he was left alone, and he got destroyed.
Let's go, John.
Why? Why do so many people in this industry be left alone?
Johnny.
We gotta go. Come to me. I'm Johnny.
Do you think?
But what you got to understand is we're not looking after each other anymore. And we should.
Thank you so much for your time, Johnny. I appreciate you. Have a good show.
Any other of you out there that need help, come talk to me. Right? Come talk to me. We do not need to die.
Johnny. Thank you, Johnny.
And it was really sad and sincere.
It was
and
probably the most sincere thing I've ever heard someone say into a TMZ camera before. So.
And that is all we have for this week's episode of Tranquil Radio. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/tranquilradio216. Like the video. Share the video. Share it with your friends, man. You know, do that little copy and paste thing you got to do on your iPhone. Subscribe. Please subscribe. We got so many subscribers and new likes over these past couple of weeks. It's been incredible. Thank you guys so much. As always, I am Sean Ryan.
And I'm Coley Colgate.
And this is Tranquil Radio.
Bitch.
People will bow to it.
We got a whole tonight. We got a whole bunch of shit.
Let's make up a phrase, troop rock.
I still use your phrase, Civil War dad rock.
It's Mumford and Sons, yeah.
Someone
dad
like
rock.
Stomping on a steel bucket or hitting a football helmet with a stick. Article 1, Section 8 and 27, which protects, quote, they're my favorite articles too! High five!
Yes. Dude, that was bad. That was also bad. One more time. Yeah. Teamwork.
Yeah. That was, all three of those were bad.
Real bad.
I'm so white. You were saying about R. Kelly?
I was saying he got bailed out again. He's in and out of jail.
Dude, that guy like needs to burn in hell.
He's having a rough time surviving R. Kelly. Josh Lawhorn's joke. I stole it.